Welcome back. In this video we'll be talking about the 8 different types of human herpes viruses. The first type is called herpes simplex 1 and it transmits via respiratory secretions and saliva. To remember the symptoms, just remember the word left. So L for lips, it causes herpes labialis on the lips, and E for eyes causes keratoconjunctivitis in the eyes, and F for fingers causes white low on the fingers, and T for temporal lobe encephalitis. The second herpes virus is called herpes simplex 2 and transmits via sexual contact and perinatal. It causes genital ulcers and neonatal meningitis. And the virus resides in the sacral ganglion. So remember that the second herpes simplex, it resides in the sacral ganglion. So second starts with S and sacral starts with S as well. The third herpes virus is called varicella zoster virus, or VZV, and transmits via respiratory secretion. To remember the symptoms of VZV, I remember the word BLS. So VZV is 3 letters, and BLS is also 3 letters. So B for brain inflammation, L for lung inflammation, and S for skin lesions. The skin lesions can either be mild like chickenpox or severe like shingles. And note that shingles will resolve and later on cause what we call a post-herpetic neuralgia. The third herpes virus will reside in the trigeminal ganglion and the dorsal ganglion. So remember that the third starts with T and trigeminal starts with T as well. Herpes number 4 is called Epstein-Barr virus and transmits via respiratory secretions or saliva, and it's commonly called kissing disease because it has high prevalence in teenagers. And remember that Epstein-Barr virus causes mononucleosis, which is basically fever with hepatosplenomegaly, and remember that the spleen might rupture in patient with Epstein-Barr virus if he did any sports, so he shouldn't do any sports till the Epstein-Barr virus resolves. Also pharyngitis and lymphadenopathy, mainly in the posterior cervical lymph nodes. Epstein-Barr virus infects B cells, so remember that Barr starts with B and B cells will start with B as well. And this increases the chance of lymphomas and nasopharyngeal carcinomas. And it's very important to know that herpes number 4 has positive monospot test. Herpes number 5, also known as cytomegalovirus, well, it's number 5, so it has 5 ways of transmission, and they are congenital, sexual intercourse, saliva, urine, and organ transplant. Cytomegalovirus loves immunocompromised patients. To remember the symptoms, I remember that cytomegalovirus is associated with sight, so vision, so it causes retinitis with cotton wool oxidate in the retina, and causes owl eyes inclusions in certain cells. So all symptoms are associated with eyes, which are for sight. Cytomegalovirus have negative monospot test. Herpes number 6 and number 7 don't have any specific name, and they transmit via saliva. And their symptoms, they cause something we call roseola infantum, which is basically a high fever, and then the fever would resolve and the patient would have rash afterwards. So if you have a history of fever, then the fever went away and then the patient presented with rash, think of herpes number 6 and number 7. Finally, herpes number 8 also doesn't have any specific name and transmits via sexual contact and causes Kaposi sarcoma. Alright guys, so that's everything I've got. Hopefully I made this easier for you. I tried to put as much mnemonic as I could, and yeah, see you guys later.